Hi and welcome, I am Helle from Game for Life BG, and today I'm going to look back at 2021 and we're going to look at the games that I have played the most. And this will be games that takes from 30 plus minutes. I will also make a video with my quick games, with the top 10 quick games that I played the most last year. And this will just be a quick rundown of all the games. And actually I'm going to have 15 games on this list, because if there are any games that I have played the same amount of times, I will place them on the same spot. Well, let's start with having a look at my most played games. On number 10, I actually have 3 games. And the first one I will mention is Siege of Ronda. And this is a game designed by Rainer Knizia. It's for 1 to 4 players, so you can play it solo, and it is a cooperative game. And it takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play. So this is a cooperative game where you need to defend all of your gold, and you have different orcs and trolls and stuff that are going to try to attack you and steal your gold, and you have to work together and dig your way out of the fortress that you are in. You're kind of caught in the fortress. You need to dig your way out. So that is on my number 10 space, and it's sharing the space with Mind MGMT. And this game is also for 1 to 5 players. I haven't tried it in the solo version of this, but in this game you're going to play one versus the rest. And you have one player that is going to that has some objectives they have to fulfill. They have to visit some different spaces on the board, and you need to capture that person. And I like the way they have made that you can ask. It's really a simple game, but a fun way where you kind of have the mouse after the cat. You have to capture one person, so you have to work together, kind of like also Whitehall Chapel, but I think the way they have implemented in this is kind of more simple. And then you have some different stories you can go through. We haven't gone through them all, but you will have one player that has a copy of the game board, and they will mark on this where they are walking, and they have a screen, so they are behind the screen, and all the others, they have to try and capture the person. And then also on number 10th spot, I have 4 gardens. And in this game, you're going to collect resources and you're going to build cards. And you have this special tower where you have one side pointing to each player. It can be played with up to 4 players. And the side you have is the side that you will be able to collect resources from. So you're actually going to turn these there are 4 elements that you can turn. So you're going to turn them, and then you have different resources that is going to point towards you, and then you can collect up to 4 resources that you can have. And then you need to build some cards that you're going to have. You have cards that you can use to either play for an action, or you can put them down and then try to make them. And you have to make sets. It's really a simple resource gathering, build cards game. Really enjoyable, and I like the mechanism they have made with this tower, with the way you have to puzzle it to get the right resources, and you can either collect from the bottom and up, or from the top and down. And then on spot number 9, I have 2 games. First I have Wingspan, and in this game each player, they're going to get their own board, and you will start with some bird cards to your hand, and then you need to build the bird cards, and each of the cards, they have different abilities and they have victory points on them. So you need to use the abilities they have and kind of like get something up and running that can help you in laying eggs, or maybe getting new cards, or maybe you have a bird that can catch other birds or animals that can score your victory points. Really enjoy this game Wingspan, and it was for up to 5 players. And you can play it solo too, and it actually works pretty well when you play it solo. And the second game on spot number 9, that is Azul Queen's Garden, and this is the 4th edition of the Azul games. And this one is, I think, even more puzzly. And in this game, each player, they have their own board where they're going to place tiles to. And this is a tile drafting game. And then you need to place the tiles in a special order, where you need the same symbols adjacent to each other or the same color. But they all have to be different, so you can't have the same type of tile connected to each other in a group. So this is a more puzzly version of the Azul games, I think. For me, this is the most thinky, puzzly Azul game of the 4 versions. And then on spot number 8, I have Nemesis. And Nemesis is a game for 1 to 5 players. It takes 90 to 180 minutes to play. It does take a longer time to play, but this is a game where it's a semi-cooperative game. It might be that you're working together, but it also might be that you have different agendas. You can also play it as a fully cooperative mode, but the intention of the game is actually that you're going to be playing it semi-cooperatively. And you are on board an alien ship, and you're going to try to see if you can survive. Each player will get their own objectives, and you have to see if you can, of course, fulfill your objective. And you have these cool, scary aliens that are going to come after you. Really an enjoyable game, I think. And I like to play it both semi-cooperative or fully cooperative. And also they have a great solo mode. I have lots of playthroughs with the Nemesis on the channel. And I am planning on making more Nemesis. Next week I should play it again, and then hopefully soon there will be a new Nemesis video on the channel. And then I will go to spot number 7. I actually have 3 games on spot number 7 too. And one of them is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. And this is a quicker card version of Terraforming Mars, but the original version is also a card version. Yeah, here we have a setup of the game where you can see each player, they're going to get their own board where they can keep track on what they have of the different things they are going to use, and then they're going to build cards, and then you have a little Mars that you're going to terraform. Really like this edition of the game. I have also played the original one, but not that many times, so it's hard for me to compare them, but for the games I've played so far, I actually really enjoy the Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. So for me, at the moment, I like that one better, I think. But I would still need to play the original versions more times before I really can say that. But this version, I really enjoy. And also on spot number 7, we have Cadia. And this is a new game I just got here at Essenspiel, but it already made it up to my list. And this is a tile drafting placement game where it's really, I can think the rules for the game, it's really simple to explain, but you have to puzzle with how you're going to place your tiles, because you want to make the same areas, the same type of landscapes you want to place to each other, because the largest area is going to score you points at the end of the game. And then you have 5 different element types, and you are going to state each of them, they have their own way they can be scored. So you need to try and puzzle and place all the animals in the right ways, and also make your landscape. And in each round, you're just going to gain a tile and then one of the animal tokens, and then you have to place them. And when all players have placed 20 tiles and they have received 20 animal tokens, then you will go to the scoring and see who has scored the most points. Also really a simple, enjoyable game. And then also on spot number 7, I have Bloodborne, the board game. And this is a cooperative game where you're going, it's kind of story-driven cooperative game where you have some missions you're going to try and fulfill. And in this game, you're going to explore different tiles, and you will have things that are going to come to you that you're going to have to overcome. You have different missions you're going to try to fulfill, and you're going to go through different chapters. If you manage to complete one chapter, you can go to the next chapter, and it's story driven. So And it is cooperative, so you're going to work together to try to see if you can fulfill the objectives that you need to. And this game is for 1 to 4 players, and I do have some different playthroughs of the first recommended chapter that you're going to play. For the first 3 chapters, the long journey, I can't remember, I think it was called something like that. And that was the games I had on spot number 7, and for the last 6 games, I only have 1 on each spot. So my number 6 most played game is It's a Wonderful World. And this is just a simple card building game where you're going to build cards and you're going to produce resources that are going to help you to build even more cards. And this is also a puzzle game in you have your cards, you can use them as a resource, or you can lay them down and then try to build them. And then you have some cards that can kind of combine. So you have to get kind of an engine up and running, and you will often be good at making 1 or 2 type of cards, and then you're going for that. And you have victory points on them, or you can produce. And I really think that this is a good game too. But I do have videos of this game on my channel if you want to know more about the game. I think a lot of the games I have videos on. Nearly all the games here I have made videos of. Mine, MGMT and Four Gardens I haven't. But I'm definitely thinking of doing one for Four Gardens. Perhaps also Mind MGMT, but it's just such a big game. Alright, let's go to my number 5 game. And this is a game where, it's Pandemic: The Cure. And it's a DICE version of Pandemic where you're going to try to find and cure 4 diseases. And in this game, each player, they're going to get a special ability, and they're going to get dice that comes with that person, that character that they have. And then you have dice that you're going to place around the world, and they are kind of these different diseases that are going to hit you. And you have to cure them, keep them down, and make sure that you're not overrun by any of the 4 diseases. This is really a quick version of Pandemic, and it is the Pandemic version that we have played the most. And of course, we think it's quick and fun. And then on number 4, I have Sakada. Yet another game with a lot of dice. But in this game, this is also, by the way, for 1 to 4 players. The Pandemic game is a cooperative game. This is not a cooperative game. And in this game, each player, they're going to get their own board where they can place dice to. And there are some restrictions to how you can place the dice. And you're going to select dice, and you have different objectives that you need to fulfill. And that is common for you all. And then each player, they will have 1 secret, a die color that they're going to collect that can score them points at the end of the game. So I think the rules for the game is pretty simple, but of course you have to really think and puzzle in how to place the dice to your board, because that is the way you are going to be able to score points. And also there are some restrictions to how you can place them. Really also an enjoyable game, I think. But that was my number 4th most played game. And on number 3, spot number 3, we have Feed the Kraken. And this is a game that has been a Kickstarter game, but I had a prototype of the game, and I got it at the start of the pandemic. So I have been playing it a lot online, where I have people come in and play it. And of course, there's lots of videos of Feed the Kraken on the channel. This is a kind of social deduction game for 5 to 11 players. So you're going to have a board for the game, and then you're going to have people that are going to be on different teams. And the pirates, they're going to know each other. The sailors and the cult leader, they won't know anything. And then the sailors, they need to get up to this area, the pirates to this area, and then the cult leader would want to get up here. And there are some more rules. But this is really a game when you have a lot of interactions, and then you will have people that, of course, are going to lie to you. Of course, the pirates, they want to go to the pirate bay, and the sailors, they want to go to another place. Really an enjoyable game if you like social deduction games. And then on spot number 2, I have Bad Company. And this is a game for 1 to 6 players, and I just got it in October, and I managed to, in just 2.5 months, this made it to my list, because this is definitely the game that we have played the most after of the Essen games that I brought home. It's a simple, fun game where players, they're going to be active at the same time, and each of you have your own gang. So each player, they're going to have their own gang with 11 gang members, and then you can upgrade them with these different cards. And you have a board you're going to drive around in, where the police, they might come and catch you, and you can recruit, so you can get these more persons to your board. And it will be different from time to time when you play. There are 2 boards here where you're going to shuffle them, and it will be different which kind of gang you're going to have. So you can be the lucky angels, or you can be the lazy ninjas, or it can be different from game to game. So in this game, you're going to roll dice, you're going to activate gang members, and everyone is going to activate a gang member on the same turn. And you will have an active player that gets to activate 2 gang members, and all others, they're going to activate 1 gang member. So you are active in everyone's turn. So this is a game when you can play it fine, I think, with 6 players, with 5 players, with 2 players. Yeah, really a game I can recommend, and I haven't played with anyone that didn't enjoy playing the game. If I had to make a top 10 list of games that was published in 2021, which I normally do, but I haven't done it this year. I haven't done it for last year, because I don't think I have played enough games of that was published in 2021 because of the COVID. But this one would most likely have made the top of my list as my number 1 game. But that was number 2 on my list. And the game that I have played the most, and I think you can guess it if you have followed along on the channel, that is certainly Blood on the Clock Tower, a social deduction game that we have been able to play with each other online, where we are going to play on Zoom. And yeah, I have lots of video on the channel. Really, for me, an enjoyable game where, let us just see if we can get some images here. This is a game where you can play with 7 to 20 players. I think the most I've been is 18 players, and also been down to 5 players. And this is a game where you're going to have one person that is going to be the storyteller, and then you have people that are going to play the games, kind of like a werewolf game, where each player, they're going to get a role, a character, and you can be on a good team or on an evil team. But the thing is, in this game, if you are eliminated, if you are killed at night or executed during the day, you're still within the game. You're not out of the game. You're still participating. So in werewolf games, you will be out, and then you can only watch the other players play the rest of the game. That is not the case in Blood on the Clock Tower, and I definitely think that is also one of the reasons why I really enjoy playing Blood on the Clock Tower over werewolf games. And this is a game where you have a lot of player interaction. This is all about player interactions. And you are going to have a night phase where people, they're going to wake up, and you have a demon that is going to kill someone, doing like, try to kill someone. It might not happen. And then during the day, you're going to talk to each other. You have different people that are going to get information, and you're going to see if you can find the demon and kill the demon if you are on the good team. So this is definitely a game for people that like games where you are active, where you have a lot of interactions with each other. Social deduction games. So if you like werewolf games, you like Secret Hitler, you like Feed the Kraken, games like that, then I think Blood on the Clock Tower might also be something for you. But if you want to try it out, you can of course always come and join us on Board Game Schedule. I will make a link, and also on my Twitch channel I do some live playthroughs, and I will have more plays of Blood on the Clock Tower on the channel. But that is the game I certainly have played the most, even more than my quick game. So this was my list of my most played games in 2021 for games that take 30 minutes plus. I will also make one with my quicker games, so you will get one more list to the channel soon. But that was my most played games. Maybe you have some games you have played a lot in 2021. You are welcome to mention them in the comments.